Anyone who knows even a little about Greek mythology has probably wondered this at least once. Zeus was the king of the gods, the one with supreme power. So why was there one oath he could never break, especially an oath sworn by the River Styx? Who could possibly watch over him or punish him? Today, we're diving into the secret behind the oath even the gods fear, and the terrifying, sacred power of the River Styx. First, we need to understand what the Styx was meant to be. In Greek mythology, the underworld, the realm of Hades, is crossed by 5 rivers. Lethe is the river of forgetfulness. Acheron stands for pain. Cocytus is the river of wailing. Phlegathon is the river of fire. And the 5th river, Styx, is the river of hatred and dread. It was said to circle the underworld 7 times, and its waters carried a deadly power. The story of Achilles is the most famous example. His mother Thetis was said to dip him into the Styx. But those waters were not only dangerous to mortals, even the gods feared them. If a god came into contact with that water, the old stories say they would lose their breath and their divine strength for a full year. For 9 more years, they would be barred from the gatherings of the gods, cut off and powerless. After Zeus won the war against the Titans, he turned his attention to the power of the Styx. He was furious that the gods treated their promises so lightly and broke oaths so easily. The gods were not mortal. They were immortal beings, and for beings who would exist forever. A broken promise was not just a mistake. It was a source of disorder that could spread without end. So Zeus decided that if the gods were going to swear an oath, it had to be by the most feared power of all. And that power was the River Styx. So how did these divine oaths work? Zeus would call the gods before him and command them to swear in the name of the Styx. The ritual was both grand and frightening. The gods would raise their right hand and call on the name of the river, staking their life and divine nature on the oath. In effect, they were saying this: if I break this promise, let my body decay like the waters of Styx, and let me lose my place among the gods forever. The names invoked in these oaths often included Zeus, the gods of the underworld, and Styx herself. And once the oath was made, even Zeus could not escape what followed. This is the part many people misunderstand. Zeus did not keep these oaths simply because he was the ruler of Olympus. He, too, had to submit to the power tied to the Styx. This oath was absolute. No god stood above it. There is a famous story that shows just how terrifying that was. It involves Hera, queen of Olympus and wife of Zeus. Enraged by Semele, a mortal woman loved by Zeus, Hera let her jealousy guide her. She cleverly pushed Semele toward a dangerous request. She made Semele want proof that Zeus would reveal his divine form to her. And here is what matters most. Hera was not the one trapped by the oath. Zeus was. He had sworn to Semele that he would grant whatever she wished. And he had sworn it by the Styx. So when Semele, misled by Hera, asked Zeus to show himself as he truly was, he could not refuse. He had to appear in his full divine form, surrounded by thunder and lightning. But a mortal could not endure that sight. Semele was overwhelmed and destroyed. Zeus, king of the gods, had to stand by and let it happen because of the oath he had made. That is how powerful the oath of the Styx was. Another famous example comes from Helios, the sun god. His son Phaethon wanted proof that Helios was truly his father. He had been mocked and doubted, and he wanted his father to prove it. Helios, moved by his son's plea, swore by the Styx that he would grant him any wish. Then Phaethon made the one request Helios feared most. He asked to drive the chariot of the sun. Helios was horrified. Even for a god, that chariot was dangerous. He begged his son to choose something else. But the oath had already been made. There was no taking it back. In the end, Phaethon lost control of the chariot. The world below was thrown into chaos, and Zeus struck him down with a thunderbolt to stop the disaster. Even a father's love meant nothing against an oath sworn by the Styx. At that point, another question comes up. Why did the Greeks place so much weight on oaths in the first place? Because in the ancient Greek world, an oath was far more than a promise. It was one of the foundations of order itself. In court, witnesses swore by the gods. Agreements and treaties were sealed with sacred oaths. If those oaths meant nothing, then trust would collapse, and once trust collapses, so does everything built on it. That is why the most feared force became the guardian of promises. The power of the Styx, a river, even the gods feared, came to symbolize the kind of perfect trust human beings have always longed for. In our world, even the strongest promises can weaken over time. But in Greek myth, the gods placed their vows against a river of curse and ruin. It was an oath with no loophole, no mercy, and no exception. And maybe that is why the Styx still feels so haunting today. It was never just a river in a myth. It was a symbol of the price of a promise. So if there is a promise in your life that matters, this might be the moment to think of the River Styx and ask yourself what it truly means to give your word.